All right. Hi, everyone. So I couldn't find a video that I wanted to share with you guys that I thought was going to do justice to what we needed to be doing in class for our asynchronous lesson on Thursday. Hopefully you guys are watching this. It should be the 21st when you're watching this. Yeah? All right, cool. So I decided that I would just make my own PowerPoint, make my own video, and do it like I do, post it, online and share it for you guys. So with that being said, we are going to be talking about net income, payroll deductions, taxes, all that good stuff. And this is all going to be posted on Schoology for you. So let me start sharing my screen and let's take a look at it. All right. All right, so we'll be talking about net income, taxes, paychecks, all that good stuff. All right, so let me move my little face out of the way. Over up here. Sure, whatever. It is what it is. All right, so first things first, we have to talk about the difference between gross pay and net pay. All right, so gross pay or gross income, you can also call it that way, is basically your total of all of your income. All right, your gross income is the total of all your income. All right, now your net pay or your net income is the income after taxes and deductions are removed. All right, so this is the actual amount of money that's going in your pocket at the end of the day. Your net pay, not your gross pay. Gross is theoretically how much you made, but the fact of the matter is we never make exactly as much as we'd like, right? So even if you get paid $15 an hour or whatever, some of that is going to taxes, some of that is going to deductions. It's never fully that $15 per hour, right? So net pay is what you're actually getting in your pocket. And really quickly, just to define what a tax is in general, is a compulsory contribution to state revenue levied by the government on workers' income and business profits. All right, so that's a real fancy way of saying this is money that we give to the government for whatever services, whether it's Social Security, Medicare, whatever, right? So the one formula, actually there's two formulas, but this is one main formula you need to be taking away for today, is that gross pay minus deductions is your net pay. So gross pay minus your deductions, including your tax, obviously, all of your total deductions, that is your net pay. All right. So what you would have made minus the money they took away, that's how much you actually made. So here is an example of a pay stub. I have showed you a pay stub in a previous class, but I wanted to take a little bit deeper of a look at it, all right? So a pay stub, or you can say it's your paycheck from work. Another official name for it is your earnings statement. You can see right here, it says earnings statement. You'll get this for every pay period, all right? So every time you get paid, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever, you'll get a pay stub for that pay period, all right? And again, notice our formula, gross minus tax or minus deductions, however you want to put it, is your net pay. All right, so here's our gross pay, right? So right here, you can see on the pay stub, let's take a look at a couple different things here. We have our employee name, right? We have the pay period when it is. And then here we get to the section on the left right here where that's your income. All right, so you can see that this person worked regular hours at a rate of $20 per hour for 80 hours. So hopefully you remember at this point that your hourly wages equal your rate times your hourly rate times the hours that you worked, right? That's how much you made in hourly wages. Well, all we have to do here is take that $20 per hour times the 80 hours that they worked in this pay period, multiply them together, and you get 1,600. All right, cool, that's regular time. Now what about overtime? All right, well, this person gets $25 per hour overtime, and they worked 5 hours overtime. So we just multiply those out, $25 per hour times 5 hours. All right, that's $125. Now, if we want to find their total current earnings, their total current gross pay, we just add those together. Their regular time was $1,600 plus their overtime, $125, and you get $1,725 or $1,725. That is their total gross pay. But that is not how much they're getting in their pocket. No, John Smith right here, he's not getting that much in his pocket because he has taxes to pay, right? So let's take a look at the taxes. Those are all listed right here. So notice there's a difference between current total and year to date. We'll talk about that in a second. All right, so the current total, these are all of the amounts of dollars that he paid in taxes. That's quite a lot, right? This is an example of a Canadian pay stub. So some of these things you might not actually see on your pay stub, but income tax is definitely one of them. All right, life insurance, whatever, union dues. You add all of these together. All right, so most of these are going to be certain percentages, and they've already calculated the percentages for us. And they've told us however much percent based off of this gross pay, that is how much that John Smith here is paying for each individual tax. And then we add them all together. So when you add together 65.03, 28.62, 305.90, 10.82, 4.94, 7.01, and 8, you get $430.34. All right. So that is how much is being deducted. All right. Immediately from his paycheck, his employers are taking out that amount of money for all of these different types of taxes and dues that he has. All right. And then to calculate the net pay, right, we do gross minus tax, or gross minus deductions. So we'll take this gross pay of $1,725 and we'll subtract the deductions of $430.34, and you'll get your net pay. All right, so for this period, John Smith here had a net pay of $1,294.66. All right. Now let's talk about year to date. All right, year to date is how much you've earned total that year so far. All right. So here you can see this is actually how much he's paid in taxes so far this year, year to date taxes and deductions, right? So far that year, he's, if you take a look at income tax, John Smith here this year has already paid $7,035.70 in income tax. All right. And then you take a look here and you can see this total gross pay, his total deductions, and his total net pay for that year. So far this year, John Smith here has earned in pocket, right, $29,777.18. All right, gross minus deductions equals net. All right, cool. So let's talk about payroll taxes in general. All right. When a person works for a company, full-time, even part-time, both the worker and the employers are subjected to a variety of taxes, right? These taxes are known as payroll taxes. The employer withholds these amounts from the worker's paycheck and then submits them with the company's contributions to the government. All right? Everyone who works has to give some of that money to the government because we all benefit from the government one way or another. Right. The implementation of these taxes and their withholding are required by law. So your company that you work for can't just be like, oh, we're not going to withhold your taxes, or we're going to do it incorrectly. That's illegal. And no one wants legal trouble, right? Okay. So there are different types of taxes you're going to pay. There's federal taxes, state and local. So for the federal taxes, these are the main ones you have to be on the lookout for. All right, federal income tax. This is based on a tax bracket. So however much money you make is going to be a different percentage of money that gets taken towards taxes. All right. Then there's Social Security tax. All right. So this one, a little tricky, but not so much. 6.2% of an employee's gross pay goes towards Social Security tax. All right. 6.2% of that is paid by the employer. So then when you combine that 6.2 plus that 6.2%, you get 12.4% total that is being paid to the government based off of that employee's gross pay. All right. When you add those together, that is called the, well, actually, Social Security and Medicare combined, that is your FICA tax. Technical term, doesn't matter too much. Figured I'd throw it out there though. All right. So you can see here for Social Security, for the 2019 tax year, the maximum income amount that could be subjected to this tax was $132,900. So anyone who made above that tax no longer had to pay Social Security tax. The more you know. Medicare tax, all right? Similar concept as Social Security, 1.45% from the employee, 1.45% from the employer, to a total of 2.9%. All right, there is no wage-based limit for Medicare, but 0.9% will be withheld for employers making over $200,000. Right? The main thing I need you to take away, actually, before I say that, let's quickly address state and local taxes. Those vary a lot. Some states don't even have income taxes, some do. It definitely varies. You'll see it on your pay stub. All right. The main thing I want you to take away from this slide right here is what's in bold right here. So for Social Security, you're going to be paying up to date, right? I'm pretty sure that's an up to date number. You're going to be paying 6.2%. And for Medicare, you're going to be paying 1.45%. All right. So let's talk about how to calculate that. All right. To calculate how much tax is going to be withheld, all right, all you have to do is take your gross pay and multiply it by the percentage of tax. All right, that's it. Just gross pay times the tax. That's how much money is literally going to be withheld from you. All right. Again, make sure that when you're typing this percentage into a calculator, you convert the percent into decimal form. That's important. We need to memorize that. All right. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do this for all the individual taxes that are listed. You're going to add up all of those taxes then, subtract that from your gross pay, and then you'll find your net pay. All right. So let's take a look at just one example of how to calculate the withheld tax really quick. So let's say you earned a gross pay of $760.50 during this pay period. All right. What is your Social Security tax withheld? Assuming, again, right, we just talked about 6.2%. So assuming 6.2%, how much are you going to be paying in Social Security tax? Well, we're going to take that gross pay of $760.50. We're going to multiply it out by that 6.2%, or when we write it in decimal form, right, it'll be 0.062. Just type that into the calculator. So 760.50 times 0.062, and you'll get 47.15, or $47.15. That is exactly how much money is going to be taken out of your paycheck in this given circumstance for Social Security tax alone. Right? Cool. So that's the basics on payroll tax and stuff. I just really quickly wanted to go over the forms that we talked about in class today. So here are the three main forms that we discussed that were important to take a look at. We've got our W-4 here on the left. So a W-4 you fill out when you start working, so tax can be withheld from your paycheck. All right. So when you start a job, this is what you're going to be completing. And honestly, you might not even realize that you're filling it out because you'll probably be doing it online. It's going to be a quick, simple form. Don't even worry too much about it. Unless, you start having dependents. Once you get married, have dependents, you're going to have to be taking out different tax, right? Different tax is going to be expected from you by the IRS. So that is why we fill this out. And if you do get married or do have children, right, you will have to file a new W-4 with your employer, even if it's not a new job. All right. Then there's the W-2. All right. So a W-2 is something that the employer fills out and sends to you. So the W-4 we give to the employer, W-2 they give to us. All right. The employer fills this out with the amount of wages and taxes you earned and paid that year. All right. So this is also going to feature your year-to-date wages and taxes. Right. That is why it's called the wage and tax statement. It gives you all of the money you earned and all of the money you paid in taxes. And then you're going to take this W-2, right? You're going to either go to an accountant or learn how to do it yourself, but you're going to start filing your taxes, right? And when you file your taxes, you're probably going to use a 1040 form right here. Either a 1040, 1040A, 1040EZ. Those are the most common forms for filing taxes, all right? So this is one of the basic forms used to file your taxes to the IRS to confirm either a refund or if you have taxes due. Again, the IRS knows. They know how much they owe you and they know how much you owe them, all right? You wanna make sure you're filing your taxes so that way, if they owe you, you are getting that money back. And also, if you owe them, you're not in trouble with them, right? Cool. So this is the 1040 form that you would be using to file your taxes. Again, as a reminder, your W-2 needs to be sent out by your employer January 31st. Your 1040 that you do has to be filed by April 15th. That is tax day, All right. Again, with COVID, not sure if it's going to stay that way. It definitely changed last year in 2020. I'm not sure if it's changed this year, but I will keep you guys updated. All right. Cool. And then there's a homework assignment. All right. So there's, in fact, a homework assignment on Schoology that we can take a look at real quick. I'm going to switch over to that assignment if I can find it. Alrighty. So this is what the homework is going to look like. Notice taxes and net pay worksheet. It's going to be due tonight. All right. First question, second question, what are the days? These are important days to know. I just said them. All right. Question 3 or 4, just some practice with finding what is the net pay in general. All right. And then you're going to take a look over here at some withholdings. So you're going to tell me how much tax is being withheld based upon this gross pay and based upon these percentages of tax. And then you're going to take a look at a pay stub and you're going to answer the following questions below based on this pay stub. All right. And I'm not trying to trick you with these. Everything's written pretty clearly. Okay. Cool. So that's going to be the homework. If you guys have any questions, please reach out. Let me know. Again, it's important that you watch this and read this. It is an asynchronous class. Okay. It doesn't just mean that there's suddenly no class on Thursdays. There is class. We have to get things done. All right. And then Friday, the 22nd, we'll be doing review. You'll have a review guide. Monday, again, the 25th, you guys are having your Unit 1 test. All right. There is a formula sheet that is going to be posted with all the equations all the equations and formulas that you need to know for Unit 1 thus far in this class. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Bye. Again, reach out if you need support.